Hey guys, Ryan Leineck with Coach 'em to Keep 'em. Today I want you to spend a couple of minutes and think about the things that you can't do. Yes, you heard that right. The things you can't do. The reason I want you to think about the things that you can't do, or that your team thinks they can't do, or that you think your team can't do, is because I really want to spend some time and dive into whether you're operating out of, as Carol Dweck would call it, a fixed mindset or a growth mindset, right? Can't is a prototypical fixed mindset. It's either you can or you can't. There's no in between. It's either you're smart or you're dumb. And I was just sitting with a client today, and he told me he can't do some of the things he had committed to doing. And we had a long discussion around this idea. And we discovered that it's not that he can't do it, it's that he's not willing to do it. And there's a huge, it's miles the difference between can't and not willing to do it. And what I think you're going to find as you examine those things that you think you can't do, or that you think your team can't do, or that your team thinks they can't do, is you're going to find that it's not a matter of can't, it's a matter of don't know how, not willing to try, afraid of failing, right? There's all these different reasons why people convince themselves that they can't do it. And it's easier on yourself if you think, well, I just can't do it. I'm not that good. I can't. Rather than trying and putting in the effort and ultimately failing. It's the safer way to go by telling yourself you can't do something. One of the things I did over the last number of years was I tried to eliminate can't as often as possible. Right? When somebody comes up to me and asks me to schedule a meeting and I don't have any time available, instead of saying, you know what, I can't do that, I tell them, okay, you know what, I'm not able to this week. Let's look a couple weeks down the road. I really want to do it. That's not to say that I'm a complete rollover or pushover when it comes to someone wanting to have a meeting with me. If someone wants to have a meeting with me and it doesn't fit with what I'm working on at the time, or I don't see any value in it, I tell them that. But I don't tell them I can't do it. I tell them straight up, hey, you know what? I'm not going to be able to meet with you. I just don't see how this fits with what I'm working on right now. Touch base with me in about a year and we can go back over and see maybe there's a fit then. Right? I've eliminated can't as much as humanly possible in my life, and it's been amazing. And when you start eliminating can't and start focusing on how can I, is where you have all the difference. That is the key difference, right? Can't is fixed. You either can or you can't. There's no in between. There's no room for growth. But when you think, okay, well, how can I? You start looking at different ways that you can move towards what you ultimately thought you couldn't do. Right? So for example, if I wanted to be an NBA basketball player, chances are I don't have a very good shot at it right now. I'm mid-30s, I'm under 6 feet tall, I'm over 200 pounds. I'm not really a basketball type body. But if that was something that I wanted to do, rather than telling myself that, no, I can't do it, and I love basketball, and I start telling myself, oh, I can't be in the NBA. Well, what would I do if I moved to how can I would start studying players that were under 6 feet tall in the league, seeing what skills and skill sets they had that made them successful in the NBA. And I'd start working on those skills. I'd try and talk to them to figure out what they did. Now, would I ultimately make it to the NBA? Probably not. But would I be a better basketball player than I am today after talking to those people, studying them, doing and working on the things that they suggested I needed to improve? You bet your ass I'd be a better basketball player. That's the difference. When you move from can't to how can I, you start moving towards those things that you previously thought you can't do. And here's the biggest issue of them all. Those things that you think you can't do, somebody else is out there doing them right now. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's losing 100 pounds, somebody has lost 100 pounds before. Doesn't matter what it is. Somebody has done it before. And if somebody's done it before, it can be done again by you. Right? Take, for example, the 4-minute mile. In the mid-1950s, Roger Bannister became the first man to run a mile in under 4 minutes. In the previous 50 years, people debated whether or not it was physically possible, whether the human body could stand to run a mile in under 4 minutes. Yet Roger Bannister did it in May of 1954. And then John Landy did it 6 weeks later. And then the two of them did it later that summer in the same race. All of a sudden you went from something that was unable to happen, it was you just can't run a mile in 4 minutes, to two people doing it multiple times. And now even some of the best high school runners in North America and Europe are running the mile in under 4 minutes. It's a rite of passage. It's something that's expected of a great distance runner. It's remarkable the difference when you know that something can be done. All you have to do is figure out how you can do it. And guess what? There's volumes of books on every single topic and subject, field, whatever you're in. There is people who have succeeded that have written books, filmed video courses, YouTube videos, podcasts. There is a gluttony of success out there, and it's waiting for you to tap into it. All you have to do is move away from this mindset that you can't do something and switch to the how can I do this? Okay, so think about that. Think of those things that you can't do. Ask yourself, pick just one of them that you've been telling yourself you can't do, and go out and figure out how you can do it. And then it's not a matter of can or can't. It's a matter of will you or won't you? And it's up to you. All you have to do is go out and do the work. But know that you can do it. That's the key to sustaining this emotional motivation that we talk about in Coach 'em to Keep 'em. Right? So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you guys next week.